What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to mention movement and how important movement is for your mind, how more important it is for your body, even though we find our mind so much more important than actually our body. We have both, or actually we have neither, but let's for now presume that we have both. So movement is muy importante. Movement is something we need to have in order to feel okay. At least I need to have that feel okay. Usually people need that to have them feel okay. If they don't, if they don't move, then slowly their body will subside to all kinds of natural influences and diseases, and all kinds of nasty things will happen to the body, which you should treasure, of course. Not fun at all, but something that definitely does happen. So movement, you can move every time of the day. Doesn't have to be a great workout. Doesn't even have to make sense. Doesn't even have to be in some form. Doesn't need to be anything really, as long as you move, which can mean that you just take a walk, which can mean that you just take it easy for a while and I don't know, take a stroll for about 10 minutes. And if you're like me, down in a rut, feeling whatever you want to feel, and you move a little bit, and then you feel fine again, and then after that it happens again, and you feel ridiculously depressed or anxious or whatever. Then you move some more, and then you feel fine again, and the list goes on and on and on. And of course, it's all hopeless because that feeling will go back and forth and back and forth again and again. But let's just stick to the happy part for now. Let's just presume that movement will help, even though it helps maybe for a few seconds. It is great to move around. Some people don't like to move, even though they do have a body or a sense of body, and still they don't like to move. Still, they just like to, I don't know, sit around, watch Netflix, do nothing, except think about life and think about issues, feel different things, and don't feel like they're in their body. Movement can feel great, but we ignore it, alas, far too often. Which is of the reason for that, of course, is just because we're lazy as fuck. Just because it's hard to move sometimes, especially in this today's society in which movement is just dispelled as something unnecessary and a waste of time, even though your body is literally made for movement, even though it feels great for a reason, doesn't feel great because, I don't know, um, doesn't feel great just because the chemicals, has to be great for a reason, doesn't it? You have that body for a reason, not to sit around and watch Netflix. Not that there's anything wrong with Netflix. I watch it myself, but to do it all day, every day, without taking a stroll, without getting from A to B, without a car or a bus, without having any physical exercise whatsoever, is that the most logical decision we can make? I beg to differ. In fact, I think we have far more logical sense in us. We have far more things we can actually do with our body than we are thinking we can do. And the accomplishment of it, doesn't that feel great already? I know it's not the same as winning $1 million. I know it's not the same as traveling to a great country and living in that country, meeting all kinds of new people, but it's most definitely can mean the difference between a day full of depression and another day in which we are slightly, ever so slightly, happy about life. And who doesn't want to be happy? All you have to do is move around a little bit and feel fine again for just a few seconds. After that, you will see what happens, and at least if you move around enough, then at the end of the day, you can most definitely catch some shut eye because your body doesn't really have the energy to move around and around and around again and again. After a while, it gets tired as fuck, and you gives up and you fall asleep. And sleeping is great. Sleeping feels great all the time. Or, for me, it does feel great all the time. No matter what issue I might have, no matter what issue is occurring in my life, feeling down a lot, but sleeping always feels quite grand. In fact, who doesn't need to sleep? And how do you sleep better? It's by moving. And how do you move? You just simply pick up your body. If you want to move together, then of course you can, but I usually move alone. Pick up your body and tell it to do some random shit. Then you feel great again, feel awake again, feel alive again. And who doesn't want that? So that's regarding movement. Let's see where we're at. We still have 2 minutes left. Is there anything else I wanted to say about movement? Doesn't even have to be a sport. It can be anything you want it to be. Can be, I don't know, a hand workout, which is to say, just drawing, for example, or let's say, what else can it be? Drawing or typing, writing. That's also some kind of movement. At least something to get you out of your head. Because for some reason that head of ours gets filled up with a whole bunch of useless crap, which we can't really leave out. forever. But we can distract ourselves, which can feel great, even though that distraction is but an illusion, some kind of temporary measure for what we actually are. Can you call it that? Some temporary solution, but hey, at least we get the illusion sometimes that everything's okay. Which again can mean the difference between a whole lot of issues and the temporary solvation of those issues. So just move around and you'll do fine for at least a few seconds. I want you to move around right now, in fact, and do something crazy. Don't jump off a bridge, of course, but you know what I mean. Make a somersault in your room or do something else. I don't really care, as long as you move. It's time for me to move my ass, and we are at the 11-minute mark, so I'd like to thank you and have a great Monday tomorrow.